那呢，给大家演示一下，臭瘪的挂他，一撩一锁手，挂他，对吧？臭瘪的挂他，1、2、3，一撩一出单手一挂他，怎么使知道吗？可能很多人又得说怎么使，不知道。好，那咱就先说，把它1、2、3，对吧？那这下怎么用在他身上呢？一撩就给个嘴巴，是吧？人一搭手，1、2，这手抽裆，这手抽脸，挂他在这儿，是吧？
Okay, then lastly in his video, he shows an application which just like the ones we did on episode 2, is overcomplicated. And again, it looks good for people who are untrained. With anyone who had experience in fighting, you should be able to tell immediately that it does not work. So again, the guy is a dummy. He's just holding his hand here, right? The hand like he's gonna do an attack. And then he said, you're gonna come up and you're gonna, he always like to do this and then slap the guy in the face. And he's gonna hit the guy in the balls, and then grab the guy here, or hit him in the head, and then throw him over. Okay, again, this looks like it's cool and effective on the surface, but if you use any logic, you see the problem. Firstly, if I do this to you, are you going to stay there and let me do it? You're going to lock, right? At least. Yeah. But are you going to be stationary? Probably not. No. And so the moment, let's start again. So the moment I start to do the next thing, he's gone. And maybe he's going to be punching me or something. So my hit to his balls is going to be risky. He might not even be there for me to do that. And even if he is, he's not going to stay here and let me complete this motion. Okay? He's going to be doing something else. Unless he's really a dummy that doesn't move. So again, there's no time for him to complete that whole action with somebody just staying there. Now, of course, this isn't a real fight, so he had to show an application. However, the way I see it, if you want to show a viable application, you have to be able to explain what is your plan when the guy is moving. Okay? It's not a viable application or plan if you rely on the fact that he's not moving for you to complete 3 motions. Anytime you see this, it just screams that it does not work. Okay? In comparison, if you look at any of the applications that I've shared, I always make an emphasis on what happens to the other person. For example, if you refer to my video on my Wuxing Tongbei, right? When I'm doing a circular hand, I'm bringing his balance so much that it's hard for me to make a response. And that's the only reason why this application works. Okay, it's because if I do this, it's hard for him to have a different response. And even then, I only have a second move. And only when the second move connects to his face, I do the third one to try to hurt him really bad and finish the fight. Okay, it all hinges on the fact that I can break his balance. But in his case, all he's doing is, he's irritating the guy by slapping him. And then hoping he doesn't move, but you hit the ball, hit the face, and then throw him. And that's the problem. He's doing so many things that isn't hindering his ability to respond. And then he's betting on this application to be executed completely. And that's the problem. Because for me, in my previous Tongbei example again, if this one does not catch his arm, right? If you step back, I don't carry on with the next move. It's not a whole combo in one go. If I do this and he moves back, doesn't matter, I'm still here. If he comes back, I'm going to do the next technique and then carry it on. And that's an example of something that can work, is when it's taking into consideration of any possible response the opponent can have. Whereas his application doesn't work because it hinges on, it needs the guy, hinges on the fact that he doesn't move. So anytime you see anything that have a dummy to work, then there's a 99.999% chance it will not work in the real life against someone who knows basic fighting technique or knowledge. Anything you want to add here?
No, that's all.
Alright, so that'll be all for today on the episode of Kung Fu Debunk. I kind of lost count, but I'm pretty sure you can see it. Once I upload it, there will be a number there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and hope that it clarifies some things, and that you guys have learned something you might not know. And all these videos I'm making is intended to correct the misinformation in this Chinese martial art community, so that less people will fall prey to these kind of misinformation and incorrect training. We all only have one lifetime, okay? It's a limited amount of time and limited amount of money. And if you want to do Chinese martial arts, which is already a dying art and dying culture, I really wish that everyone will find a correct lineage, a correct teacher. Might not be the best, but at least be genuine and efficient in its own right, rather than wasting time and money on something like this, which has never been tested in reality. Okay, so that's my reason for making these Kung Fu Debunk videos, and I do hope that you guys are enjoying them. So if you do enjoy my videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, make sure you click on the bell icon so that you get updated on future content. And if you can support me on Patreon, that would be greatly appreciated. And I do have a whole selection of Patreon-only videos that go into more details, which are the 4 fundamental forces, as well as other information that I'm pretty confident you most likely will not have access to in other places on YouTube. So if you can support me and you do think that I'm doing something good for the Chinese martial art community, then please do support me. It's much appreciated. And as always, I'll have a shout out to all my Patreon supporters. Thank you guys so much for your support. And a special shout out to my new Patreon supporter, simply known as S. It's a pretty minimalism and cool name. Thank you for your support. And as always feel free to message me for any questions on current content that you might want to clarify or don't understand, or any suggestions for future content. Never hesitate to contact me, and I'll definitely get back to you as soon as possible. And lastly, I'd like to remind everyone that we are still in this pandemic, and it's still pretty bad in some places, like in South Africa. So wear your mask, sanitize your hand, get vaccinated if you are in the right age group or if your country on unrestricted ages to get vaccination. The sooner we all do this, the sooner this nightmare will leave. And until then, stay healthy, stay safe, stay away from crowded places, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching TriEssence Martial Art channel.